What's going on, everyone? My name is Brandon, aka Kiddo Crew, and as always, I'm going to be talking about all things chaos. Now, to be honest, I was really racking my brain on how to start this video. Again, you'll see a TTS game I have up that I was playing against some Death Guard. I actually ended up losing this game because I couldn't stay on the primary. I overestimated and stretched out a little thin, and lost pretty solidly on the primary. That's alright though. So, where to start with this video, I really couldn't decide. Chaos Space Marines are such a big faction with so many points of lore and flavor to each army. There's a ton of different ways to go about it. So I decided to start where, well, most people start, is with the Start Collecting box. So that's what I'm going to be talking about today. Now, this isn't a new topic, and there's definitely videos out there reviewing the Chaos Space Marines Start Collecting box. I'm honestly not sure how many of them actually play CSM, but I do, and that's what I'm going to be getting into. Also, as I live in America, everything will be in dollars, just as a side note. After that, I'm going to talk about what I think are some must-haves, no matter which faction you plan on playing. Once you get your Start Collecting box, these will be things that you want to start expanding into that are generally good for everyone. This will be a very good general overview and be a sort of solid base and starting point for no matter which faction you're looking to get into with Chaos Space Marines. So let's get started on the game's on the Games Workshop site. The Start Collecting Chaos Space Marine box comes up at $95, which is a pretty steep entry point for any game. This also doesn't include primer, paint, glue, brushes, etc., but we do get some value out of this box. You get quite a bit of value, really. The first thing you get is 4 units that are all specific to this box, meaning you cannot get them brand new outside of this box. Of course, things like eBay and stuff exist, but getting them brand new, all yours, new on sprue, only from this box. In this box, you get 10 Chaos Space Marines, 1 Master of Possession, 2 Greater Possessed, 2 Chaos Obliterators, and 1 Venom Crawler. And just so you're aware right now, 10 Chaos Space Marines is $60 from Games Workshop, and most characters are either $30 or $35. So buying this box, you pretty much get the Greater Possessed, Obliterators, and Venom Crawler for free. Not a bad buy. The good side is that you get some very unique models with a wider range. The downside of that is that if you want any more of these models, in particular the Chaos Obliterators, you need to buy another one of these boxes. Again, you could go to eBay or something like that, but if you want it to look just like these ones, you got to get another box. It's really not that big of a downside, as this box has some good worth, and you'll be probably wanting to run more than one squad of Chaos Space Marines. So the layout that it gives out is an HQ choice, 2 heavy, 1 elite, and 1 troop squad that can actually be broken up into 2 troop squads, so it's a pretty good spread. This also lets you fill up a patrol detachment and actually play a 500 point combat patrol game before you even finish all the models in this box. I'm going to explain a little bit on that. The models in this box with the loadout shown right on the front of the box scores you a very respectable 725 points. Just for a quick comparison, with just the newly released Dark Angels box, which is just over 500 points, sells for $140. So that's almost 50% more expensive for a box that has almost 50% less points. Pretty sweet deal for the Chaos Space Marines. This does segue me into one of the few other negatives about the box. The set is extremely monopose, which means that without some deep customization and cutting into the plastic, your guys will look pretty much in the same pose as anyone else who bought this box. Again, it's not really that big of a deal, and it doesn't take much to add your own flair to models. In fact, time for a shameless plug. If you want to see some of the models I converted, head over to my Twitter at KiddoCrew to keep up with all my painting and gaming progress. I'm still working on this box myself, but I am an extremely slow painter. So now that we've covered some selling points from an in-game aspect and a monetary aspect, what about the fluff? The rule of cool is always a thing. The fluff of your army, the storyline of your army, the driving force of your army is always a big thing that draws people in. It's not just big cool guys with big cool guns, it's what they do. This is the 41st millennium. They're killing things with a purpose. The fluff is not a worry with this box. It is extremely versatile that can even play into most of the 4 Chaos God-led legions. World Eaters, you got chainswords and demons that want to jump up, cut stuff up. Iron Warriors, Obliterators, and a Demon Engine that'll put in work. Even word bearers would have a master possession and greater possess to further worship the Chaos Pantheon. This box is super flexible, and if you have an interest in practically any of the Chaos armies outside of Death Guard or Thousand Suns, this is definitely the place to start. I really like how solid this box is, if that wasn't apparent. I got mine from Amazon, and it happened to be on sale when I did it. I think I paid $64 for it, something like that. It's going for around $80 right now on Amazon, but even then it's an extremely solid box. So now I'm going to talk about where you go once you're done building and painting this box, where to expand, and it really just depends on what you like to play. Something that's great about this box: 1, rule of cool is a factor. 2, it lets you play every phase of the game. So if you want more spellcasters, get more spellcasters. If you want more shooty, get more shooty. Has some melee threat, add more melee threat. Just depends on what you really want to do. What I'm going to go over after I talk about troops choices, what I'm going to go over is some solid pickups for each of the slots: headquarters, elite, fast attack, and heavies, that I think is a very well-rounded, all-purpose take all choices for each of those slots. So about troops. In 8th edition, Chaos Cultists were the troop choice. Not that we couldn't use Marines, they're just not nearly as good as Cultists in any way, unfortunately. Now this is a personal hot take, but I really hate Cultists. I'm completely underwhelmed. They fall to las guns worse than anything I've ever seen. They're cheap, still a common choice for some, and I just flat out refuse to run them at all. Especially since Chaos Space Marines will, albeit eventually, get 2 wounds, which will make us a lot tougher. Cultists just don't fit for me, and I don't like running them at all, even in Tabletop Simulator. I like to focus on the Undivided Legion, so I won't be talking about the elite choices like Berserkers and Noise Marines that other armies can take as troop choices. So headquarters that everyone can take. This went to the Lord Discordant on Hellstalker. Now this is a really tough choice, as Chaos has a lot of very solid headquarters units. This went out for 2 reasons. First off, he's an absolute beast in close combat. No relics, no warlord traits needed. Take him in, send him in. 13 attacks on the charge, with most of his weapons being AP2. Able to use both Demon Forge and Veterans of the Long War. Can take out a knight in one go, no problem. Has a Bale Flamer, which is an 18-inch Strength 6 AP2 damage auto-hitting flamer that you can be shooting after you advance. Great base movement of 12 inches at top profile. This model does work. Not to mention, it also does things like buff your demon engines. Gives them a +1 to hit if they're within 6 inches. Enemy vehicles, enemy dreadnoughts, -1 to hit in that same 6 inches. Heals the damage every single turn, can heroically intervene, does everything except cast psychic spells on itself. It's really, really great. It's a little costly at 200 points, but you easily get 200 points out of this model every game. It's super good. He's got a 5+ invul, plenty of attacks, great. So now the second reason why he won this over the Chaos Sorcerer, which was about to take the first pick from this, is that he can take Mark of Khorne. It also lets him take the Talisman of Burning Blood, which lets him advance and charge and reroll failed charges, giving him an amazing threat range on the smaller board that is 9th edition. Letting him take Mark of Khorne is very pertinent, since you can take that in World Eaters, and this is a undivided thing, where the sorcerers cannot take Mark of Khorne, so that bumped them just like half a point down to let the Lord Discordant take over. This model is super imposing, and you can do some great conversions on him. On to elite choices. My elite choice for everyone is Terminators. Terminators are super solid, 28 points a model. They're extremely durable for their points. 2 wounds, 2 up armor save, 5 up invul. Power weapons, you have your choice of power swords, maces, lightning claws, etc. Power fists and chain fists come with a little bit of an increase in points. And combat bolters are also free on them. You can take a lot of loadouts to do whatever you want with them. You need some anti-armor punch? Chain fists. You need some general all-around good punch? Lightning claws and power fists. You want some Daka that will take down tanks? Melt-a-guns. You want some Daka that'll rip down even the toughest troops? Plasma guns. They can deep strike, durable, fly around. 5-man squads are only 140 points base cost. Can definitely put in some work. Now for fast attack. Even though our options are limited, fast attack definitely goes to Chaos Raptors. Now, I'm not going to lie and say that the Chaos Raptors are great, because frankly, they're not. They're base 1 attack, +1 for the chainsword, and then +1 for charging. And only at AP 1, damage 1, their melee options are limited. But they can deep strike. They're only 75 points base for 5 of them, and they have a tiny footprint. They fit almost anywhere on the map, which means they can be deploying scramblers, scoring you victory points, engaging all fronts, all those sorts of things. Tie up enemy objectives in the backfield that aren't being held by, objective secure troops. Great models. Super fun to convert as well. And then a little added bonus for this kit. This kit has so many weapon options. It's amazing to have for the rest of your army. This box for 5 Chaos Raptors comes with 10 Lightning Claws, a Power Fist, a Power Sword, 5 Chain Swords, 5 Bolt Pistols, 3 Plasma Pistols, and 1 of each of the assault guns, Melt-A-Gun, Flamer, Plasma Gun. You can only use so many of these. So even if you're not going to use 5 Chaos Raptors or 5 Warp Talons, whatever the case is, this is a great kit just to pick up for bits. Gives you a ton of things. Give you jump packs to throw on your Chaos Lords, Chaos Sorcerers, things like that. Gives you Lightning Claws to throw on things that don't have enough that come in the box. Prime example, Terminators don't have enough Lightning Claws, so just keep that in mind. Now, heavy support, as much I would like to say Obliterators here, because they're just such a great all-come-around unit, we already have Obliterators in the Start Collecting box, and they don't sell them separately. So this pretty much leaves the options between Havocs and the Forge and or Mauler Fiend. So the Fiend definitely wins out, but only for one really sad reason. The Havocs come with their choice of ranged weaponry. Their only unique gun is a Reaper Chain Cannon, meaning the only gun that they can take in mass that no one else can take in the game is the Reaper Chain Cannon. The Havoc kit comes with one single Reaper Chain Cannon, the only unit in the game that can take more than one per squad, and they can only take one. Really unfortunate, James. Come on, get on that. So the Mauler Fiend and Forge Fiend win this round. The single kit can be built into either the Mauler or the Forge Fiend, depending on if you want more DACA, if you want more crunchy. The versatility of that is also what gives it a little bit of an added bonus over the Chaos Havocs. It's definitely the best all-rounder choice for expanding your heavy support slot for your army. And now on to the 5 primary Undivided Legions. First, we have the Black Legion. Now, this one's first not because they're the best, because I really don't think they are, but because they're the easiest choice. Abaddon, the Despoiler. He's definitely the best when it comes to HQ units for us. 220 points because of Revolt Bubble of all hits. Makes anyone within 6 inches of him fearless. Halves the damage that he takes in. Has a 2-up armor save, 4-up invul. Can deep strike with your units to do whatever chicanery you want to pull. Gives you additional CP and gives you some options as Black Legion to give additional warlord traits, which is a rare commodity for Chaos Space Marines. So, if you're thinking about going Black Legion, Abaddon the Despoiler should probably be your next buy. Next, we have my personal favorite, the Night Lords. Their choice is also really easy. More Raptors, Warp Talons, whichever ones you prefer. The kit lets you build either one. For now, we still have our 3d6 Deep Strike strat for jump pack units. Even if all you do with the kit is Steel Claws and jump packs for a Chaos Lord or Sorcerer, you'll need more of this kit. Warp Talons are actually a pretty solid choice. 5 Warp Talons at 23 points a model is about 215 points. Not that expensive. They come out of Deep Strike, 3d6 charge, that's 21 attacks. Hitting on 3s, wounding on whatever, the strength 4, but they're rerolling all wounds. AP 2, 1 damage. Pretty solid. Not only that, but they ignore Overwatch. So, Tau Army wrecks a whole Tau Army just by themselves. They also have a 5+ invul save, which makes them just a touch more durable than base Raptors. Coming out of the same kit as Raptors makes them both the best thematic and best next choice for Night Lords. Word bearers are also pretty simple. You need a Dark Apostle. They need to be able to bear the words. What other model is better than the Dark Apostle? The Word Bearers are one of the only legions able to bolster their Dark Apostles to have 2 prayers active during any turn. These models provide a great tool and utility to your army, and even though they are a character with a few cuts and some work, you can pretty much customize one from one of these Chaos Space Marine models if you wanted to. Just make sure to give them a power mace or something similar to represent the accursed Crozius, and add as many Chaos Inscripted or Demonish bits as you would like. The Dark Apostle is definitely next by if you're looking to start a Word Bearer's army. Iron Warriors can choose pretty much any demon engine, since their best warlord trait is by far the exploding 6s for demons, which affects all the demon engines. Now, all of the demon engines can put in some work with the Lord Discordant already in the general next buy for headquarters units. I think I'd add a little bit more of a hotter take for this. The Chaos Decimator. Now, this is the first Forge World model that I'll suggest, and it can run pretty pricey. The only thing the demon engine, this is the only demon engine that hits on 3s naturally. So near Lord Discordant, hitting on 2s. Give it double soul burner petards, and it spits out 43 mortal wounds per phase. Combo it with the Lord Discordant Master Possession, hitting on 2s, rerolling 1s, exploding 6s for additional hits, wounding on 2s, rerolling 1s. Pretty tasty damage. With the reduction of Feel No Pains in the game, these models are straight lethal. The sneakiest boy is now the Alpha Legion, and quite honestly, I wasn't sure where to go with this. The Alpha Legion have a ton of fluff and lore to them. They just don't have a specific unit in the Chaos Space Marine Codex that fits uniquely with their tricks and tools that they bring. So in lieu of this, I'll suggest a simple Chaos Sorcerer. The utility of Warp Time and Death Hex and things like that can add a lot of tools and a lot of reliability to some of the strikes you'll be wanting to pull off in those key moments that you're pulling off your tricks. So lastly, I'll do a quick little honorable mention to Huron Blackheart. If you decided to start a Red Corsairs list, he's a mix between a little bit of a Beatstick Chaos Lord, a Psyker, and adds a couple CP to your pool for more strats. You don't get Veterans as Red Corsairs, but that's alright. You got other useful strats. And there you have it. So, where to start, where to go, basics of what to do, my little takes on what next to build for your thematic army. Now, just keep in mind, this isn't a, you must do this thing I'm telling you to do. This is just my opinion on what I think both looks good, nice and fluffy, get some play out of it for new players to get into Chaos Space Marines for 9th edition. I've just started just as 9th edition got announced myself, or restarted I should say, and for my birthday I bought myself 10 Forge World Terminators, this Start Collecting box, a Raptor Squad, a Sorcerer, and a Dark Apostle. That's what I got going so far. So this box is something I'm still building. Comment below, tell me what you think, and tell me what you are thinking of buying next. Sub, like, dislike as you see fit. Until next time, Undivided we stand.